Feel your body sinking deeper into the surface beneath you. The weight of your limbs grows heavier with each passing moment. Your arms rest gently at your sides. Your legs feel as though they are made of soft stone. Gravity wraps around you like a warm blanket, pulling you downward into stillness. Breathe in slowly now. Let the air fill your lungs completely. Then release it with ease. Each exhale carries away another piece of tension, another fragment of movement, another echo of effort from the day behind you. You don't need to hold anything anymore. Not your thoughts, not your worries, not even your breath. It all flows out naturally, leaving space for calm to settle in. Your heartbeat slows now. Steady, deep, rhythmic, like waves lapping at a quiet shore, or wind moving through tall grass. Each pulse a gentle reminder that you are safe. The muscles in your neck soften. Your shoulders drop lower. Your jaw unclenches without effort. Your forehead smooths out. Even the smallest tensions melt away, as if carried off by a breeze you cannot feel. Your breathing becomes slower, deeper, more natural, each breath reaching further into your body, filling every corner with peace, letting go of everything that does not belong here. Now, let yourself begin to imagine a place where time moves differently, where sound is soft and light is warm, where your mind can finally rest. You are walking now, though your feet do not press hard against the ground. You are floating slightly above a path made of soft moss. Its surface feels cool but comforting, alive with tiny movements beneath your step, as if the earth itself is breathing. Above you, vines hang down like curtains of glass, swaying gently to a melody only they can hear. Light filters through them in thin ribbons, gold and silver and pale blue, each strand touching your skin like silk, cool and delicate, but never startling, always soothing. Around you, the garden is full of flowers, unlike any you've seen before. Their petals glow softly in shades of lavender and pearl, Some float freely in the air, drifting upward, then spiraling back down again, moving to their own invisible rhythm. Never fast, never urgent, just peaceful, like everything else here. The air is thick, but not heavy, like warm honey, sweet and smooth, filling your lungs without effort, carrying scents you cannot name, but somehow recognize, like memories of comfort from long ago, or dreams you once had as a child, before the world became so loud. In this place, there is no rush, no noise, no need to move quickly. Time stretches out like a long sigh, soft and endless, and you are free to simply be, to let your thoughts drift like the petals above, to sink into the rhythm of this place. You walk further along the path and notice how the moss pulses gently underfoot, not with each step, but with its own slow beat, as if the ground has a heart, calm and steady, matching the rhythm of your own breath, as if you are both part of the same quiet song. You pass beneath a canopy of glowing leaves, each one shimmering with its own inner light, casting patterns on the path ahead, patterns that shift and change without your control, as if the garden itself is dreaming, and you are walking through that dream. You come to a small clearing now, where the light seems softer, more golden, like late afternoon sunlight filtered through old glass. In the center of the clearing, there is a low stone bench, covered in moss so soft it looks like velvet. You sit down easily, feeling the warmth of the stone seep into your body, calming every muscle, every thought, every breath. From here, you watch the petals drift past, some catching lightly on the vines above, others settling onto the moss at your feet. They glow for a few moments longer, then fade gently into the surroundings, as if returning to the earth from which they came. You close your eyes now and let the sounds of the garden wash over you. There is no music exactly, but there is harmony, a deep and resonant hum that seems to come from everywhere at once. At 40 hertz, the frequency of calm, of sleep, of letting go. And your brain begins to match it naturally. You feel your awareness begin to soften. Your thoughts no longer sharp or separate, but blending into the rhythm of this place, like ripples smoothing out on still water. Your breathing slows even more. Your body settles deeper into the bench, and sleep begins to reach for you. There is nothing left to do now. No tasks to finish. No thoughts to chase. No effort required. You have arrived in the place where rest lives, where peace is not something to find, but something that finds you. Let yourself sink into it now, deeper and deeper, until the garden fades away, until even the memory of walking here dissolves, until there is only stillness, only warmth, only sleep. Feel the breath moving in, so slowly, filling the chest like warm honey. The air touches the lining of your lungs with cool silk fingers, and as it settles, there is a hush, a gentle quieting, like the moment before dawn, when the world holds its breath. Now, let that stillness ripple outward from the core of your being to the edges of awareness. Each cell begins to soften, like petals opening to first light. The tension you carried, it was never yours. It belonged to the day, to motion, to noise. But here in this space, it dissolves. Feel the release beginning at your fingertips. Imagine each nerve ending, letting go, like dew sliding off broad leaves in morning. The tightness in your shoulders melts, not rushed, not forced, simply allowed, as if warmth from buried sunlight rises up, spreading through muscle and sinew, carrying away every trace of strain. Your neck releases its burden. The weight of holding dropping away, like stones sinking into still water. Ripples spreading outward, then silence. The jaw unhinges gently. Teeth part without effort. Tongue resting heavy and soft on the floor of your mouth. This is how stillness feels. Not emptiness, but fullness. a completeness that needs nothing added. Now, feel the surface beneath you, the mattress or couch or ground, rising up to meet your body. Not you sinking down, but the earth itself lifting, cradling you in perfect support. Every small hollow of your spine, nestled against invisible cushions. The curve of your lower back, held without pressure. Hips settling into natural alignment. Knees relaxing toward the floor. This is surrender. Not giving up, but giving over to the wisdom of stillness. Feel your arms lying loose, palms open to the sky, fingers slightly curved, as if holding the last warmth of summer rain. Elbows soft, drifting away from the body. Shoulder blades melting into the surface below. There is no need to hold anything. Not thoughts, not feelings, not even the breath itself. It moves through you, unbidden, like tide through a cove. Steady, rhythmic, endless. Now begin to turn inward, away from the outer world, where sounds still echo, but they are distant now, muffled by layers of peace, like voices heard underwater. The sight of your eyelids becomes a canvas for coolness to brush across, like a lover's sigh, warmth pooling beneath the skin, deep, nourishing, like buried sunlight waiting to bloom. The eyes themselves begin to rest, no longer scanning, searching, simply being. Vision softens. Colors blur at the edges. Sharp lines become gentle curves. The world grows dimmer. Not disappearing, but retreating, like waves pulling back from shore, leaving smooth, wet sand behind. Now listen to the space between sounds, where silence lives. The hum always present, but rarely noticed. The resonance of being. Feel it vibrate in your chest, in the hollow of your throat, behind your ears, in your bones. This is the anchor, steady, unwavering, holding you in place. While everything else shifts, sounds fade further, like birds flying into mist, their calls growing softer until only the breath remains. And even that begins to quiet. The ears stop reaching, no longer straining to catch meaning. They rest like the eyes. Hearing becomes listening to the space itself, the texture of quiet. Now feel the air moving across your skin, cool but not cold, like water fresh from a mountain spring. It brushes your cheek, your forehead, the backs of your hands, each contact feather light, but carrying the memory of comfort. The body begins to forget what it means to be touched, because it is always held, always supported, always safe. The skin relaxes, no longer guarding, no longer reacting, simply receiving. Touch becomes a sensation without location, without boundary. You are feeling without being felt. Warmth spreads through your torso, not generated by effort, but rising from deep within, like heat from volcanic stone. Slow, constant, nourishing every layer of tissue. Muscles unclench without command. Joints release their grip. The body remembers what it means to be at ease, what it means to belong. Here in this moment, in this space, in this breath. Now deeper still, beyond the reach of sensation, into the realm of pure presence. The mind stops wandering, stops seeking, stops trying to understand. Thoughts become clouds, drifting across the sky of awareness. No longer solid, no longer demanding attention. They pass silently, leaving no trace. The anchor holds steady. The resonance continues, unaffected by passing weather. This is the stillness that exists beneath all movement. The silence that speaks louder than sound. Feel yourself settling, not downward, but inward, like sediment in calm water, each particle finding its place, without effort, without rush, Time stretches like taffy, elastic, infinite. There is no hurry here, no destination, only the journey into the heart of peace. The breath slows further, each inhale a gift, each exhale a blessing. The lungs expand like bellows, drawing in more than air, drawing in stillness itself. The heart beats steadily, rhythm without urgency, pulse without pressure. Blood flows like warm honey through vessels relaxed and open, nourishing every corner of your being without resistance, without strain. The body is home, the mind is still, the spirit at ease. In this eternal moment where nothing is needed, nothing is lacking, nothing is asked except to be, to rest, to allow, to sink deeper into the void, not empty but full, not absent but present. The darkness that surrounds is not absence of light, but presence of peace. Thick velvet wrapping around, holding close, like the embrace of deep water, cool and weightless. The eyes have closed completely, vision surrendered to the inner landscape, where light comes from within, soft, golden, pulsing gently, like a heartbeat in the chest of the universe. Sounds have faded to memory. Touch has dissolved into essence. Sight has returned to source. Only the breath remains. And even that is beginning to still, like wind dying down. At the end of day, the anchor holds. The resonance continues. You are held. You are safe. You are home. In the space between heartbeats, between thoughts, between breaths, where time does not move, where consciousness rests in perfect stillness. This is the sanctuary. This is the temple. This is the garden, where bioluminescent petals drift through honey thick air and translucent vines sway to unheard harmonies. Light filters down like falling silk threads, each one brushing against the skin with cool reassurance. The ground beneath is velvet moss, soft, yielding, pulsing faintly with the rhythm of your own being. There is no sharpness here, no edge, no boundary, only the gentle curve of infinite compassion wrapping around every atom of your existence, holding you in perfect love, perfect peace, perfect stillness. The garden breathes, and you breathe with it. The garden rests, and you rest with it. The garden knows the way to silence and shows you, step by step, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, deeper and deeper into the mystery, into the void, into the source, where all things begin and never end, where you have always been, waiting for this moment to remember who you truly are, not the seeker, not the wanderer, not the questioner, but the answer itself, complete, whole, at peace. Now, let go completely of everything, thought, feeling, memory, desire, fear, hope, love, even the need to be loved. Release it all into the vastness where it dissolves like sugar in warm water, sweetening the whole without remaining as separate. You are the water and the sweetness and the dissolving all at once, all together, all the time. There is no before, no after, only this, eternal, now, The garden fades, not disappearing, but becoming something deeper, more real than image, than symbol, than metaphor. The bioluminescence becomes pure light. The moss becomes pure softness. The air becomes pure breath. And then, even that dissolves into the silence from which it came. You are no longer in the garden. You are the garden. You are no longer seeking peace. You are peace. You are no longer trying to rest. You are rest itself, complete, utter, absolute. The void opens, not to take, but to give, not to empty, but to fill with the presence of what has always been. Here, waiting, patient, gentle, infinite, love. This is the end and the beginning of everything. The story that never happened, but is always true. The journey that never moved, but arrived. The destination that was never far, but always here. In the space between heartbeats, between thoughts, between breaths, where you have always lived and always will. Safe, held, loved beyond measure, beyond time, beyond words, just being. There is no time here, only the gentle rise and fall of breath moving through the body like a slow tide. Each inhale draws something soft and weightless deep into the chest, where it settles like cool silk against the ribs. The air itself feels thick with rest, as though each molecule carries the essence of sleep woven into its very structure. You do not breathe air anymore, you breathe stillness. You breathe the absence of effort, the absence of motion. As the breath moves deeper, it begins to fill spaces you did not know existed behind the eyes, within the hollow of the throat, along the curve of the spine. This is not oxygen. This is surrender made tangible, given shape and texture, so that it can be held within the lungs. Feel how it coats the inside of your chest like velvet, like the smooth interior of an ancient stone chamber. There is warmth in this substance, but not heated is the warmth of being completely held, completely supported, without any need to move or adjust or try. With each exhale, something unnecessary drifts away, something that was never truly needed, but carried anyway out of habit or old reflex. The release is so gradual, so gentle, that you cannot name what has been let go, only that there is more space, now more ease. Your lungs have become vessels not for air, but for peace itself, dense and nourishing like a sloper of honey from an infinite source. Notice how the weight of this peace settles differently than tension would settle. Tension pulls downward sharp and constricting like stones tied to each breath. This peace flows downward like liquid light, pooling in the base of the torso, spreading outward through the pelvis into the legs. But even as it spreads, there is no loss, no diminishment. It multiplies as it moves, becoming more present, not less. Like ripples on a pond that somehow grow larger rather than smaller as they reach the shore. The breath now moves through a landscape of complete acceptance, where every cell knows it is safe to soften. There is no resistance left in the tissues, none in the nervous system, none in the quiet spaces between thoughts. Even the heartbeat has slowed to match this new rhythm, this deeper frequency that exists below the normal range of perception. Each pulse sends waves of calm through the bloodstream, like slow golden waves moving through valleys of flesh. The blood itself seems to carry messages of sleep written in languages older than words. Messages that travel directly to the bones, to the marrow, where the deepest knowing resides. You are learning again what it means to be held not by another person, but by existence itself, by the same force that holds planets in their orbits and electrons in their dance. A force that asks nothing of you except to receive. to open the palms of your awareness and let the gift of rest pour through. The gift comes not from outside, but from the part of you that has always known how to sleep. From the part that remembers the first darkness before birth, when there was only potential and perfect safety. That darkness is here now, not as absence, but as presence, thick and nurturing like the deepest ocean trench, where no light penetrates, but life flourishes anyway. In this darkness, there is no need for sight, because everything necessary can be felt. The texture of peace changes as you breathe deeper, becoming almost crystalline in its clarity, not sharp like glass, but clear like mountain streams that have flowed for thousands of years, polishing themselves smooth. Each molecule of this peace resonates at a frequency so low it bypasses the thinking mind entirely, moving directly into the cellular memory where healing happens in silence. The lungs now expand into spaces that were always there, but remained unexplored. Vast cavernous chambers filled with the kind of stillness that exists at the center of hurricanes. Stillness that is not empty, but full of potential energy waiting to be released as sleep. As you continue to breathe this substance of rest, notice how it begins to change the quality of your awareness. Thoughts do not disappear, but they slow down enough to become visible. Like snowflakes falling through thick honey, each one distinct, yet moving together in the same gentle descent. There is no rush to catch them, or catalog them, or understand them. They simply fall through the spaciousness of your attention, leaving trails of soft light behind them. The breath now carries the taste of something ancient, something that predates language and logic, a flavor like the first rain after drought, sweet and mineral rich. It coats the tongue and the roof of the mouth, creating a seal of contentment that prevents anything unwanted from entering. This is the taste of home at the cellular level, the recognition that you have arrived somewhere you have always belonged. The substance of rest begins to thicken around the edges, becoming almost solid in its density. Yet it does not restrict movement. It simply makes movement unnecessary. Like being wrapped in blankets so warm and heavy that the idea of cold becomes abstract and distant. The body responds by sinking deeper into itself, finding layers of relaxation that were hidden beneath layers of tension. Layer by by layer, like peeling back the petals of a flower that blooms inward toward its own center. Each petal reveals another aspect of rest, another dimension of peace that was always present but obscured. The heart space opens like a door that has been oiled and waiting. Through this opening flows a current of pure comfort, carrying with it the memory of every good night ever experienced. The memory is not visual, but somatic, living in the tissues as a kind of muscle memory for safety. Muscles that remember how it feels to release completely, how it feels to trust the support of the bed, of the earth of being. The breath now moves through channels that exist parallel to the physical lungs, channels that carry the essence of sleep directly to the brain stem, where the switch for consciousness is located. But instead of flipping the switch off the breath, simply covers it with a blanket of delta waves. Waves so slow and deep that they create their own gravity, pulling awareness downward into the well of rest. The pull is not forceful, but irresistible, like the tide calling the moon back to the horizon. Resistance dissolves not because it is wrong, but because it is no longer needed. The need to resist was based on the assumption that something harmful might happen if you let go. But here in this space, nothing harmful can happen because harm requires separation. And there is no separation, here only the continuous flow of being held. Held by the breath, held by the silence, held by the vast, compassionate intelligence that governs all sleep. The substance of rest now fills every available space in the body, like water finding its level. It pools in the joints, lubricating them with the kind of ease that comes from deep trust. It flows through the sinuses, clearing them of the accumulated dust of daily experience. Dust that settles harmlessly into the collection bowl of dreams, where it will be transformed into something useful. The breath carries the scent of lavender, not the sharp chemical version sold in stores, but the true lavender that grows wild in places where time moves slowly and the soil is rich with the bones of ancestors. A scent so pure it bypasses the nose entirely and speaks directly to the limbic system, where memories of safety are stored in the language of fragrance. As this scent integrates with the substance of rest, the boundary between breathing and sleeping begins to blur. Breathing becomes a form of sleeping, and sleeping becomes a form of breathing. two processes that were once separate now move in perfect synchronization. Like dancers who have practiced together for lifetimes, knowing each other's movements before they happen. The rhythm slows even further, dropping below the threshold of conscious awareness. Yet it continues unabated, powered by the same force that keeps the earth spinning and the stars burning. A force that requires no effort from you, only your willingness to participate. Participation here means allowing the breath to lead, allowing the substance of rest to guide you deeper. There is no destination, only the journey inward through layers of peace that have no bottom. Layers that reveal themselves like geological formations, exposed by the patient work of wind and water. Each layer older and more stable than the one above it. Until finally, you reach the bedrock of being where sleep is not something you do, but something you are. The breath now moves through this bedrock, creating vibrations that resonate throughout the entire field of awareness. Vibrations so subtle they cannot be felt, but can only be known. Known in the way that plants know when it is time to bloom. Known in the way that rivers know which direction leads to the sea. These vibrations carry the frequency of delta waves, amplified and purified, until they become a direct transmission. A transmission from the source of all rest to the receiver. That is your nervous system. The transmission bypasses the usual pathways, taking a shortcut through the quantum field of potential, where distance is meaningless and connection is instantaneous. As the transmission integrates, the body begins to prepare itself for the final descent, preparing not through effort, but through recognition. Recognition that sleep is not an achievement, but a return. A return to the state of being that existed before wakefulness, introduced the illusion of separation. The substance of rest now glows with its own inner light, soft and diffuse like the light of dawn, filtered through heavy curtains. This glow permeates every cell, illuminating them from within with the knowledge that they are loved. Loved not by anyone in particular, but by the universe itself, which sees you as its own reflection. Reflection that shimmers and shifts, but never breaks, never loses its essential nature. The breath carries this love directly to the core of your being, where it settles like a stone dropped into still water. The ripples spread outward, touching every part of you with with their message of completion. Completion that does not mean ending, but fulfillment. Fulfillment of the deep need to be held, to be seen, to be known exactly as you are. Known not by your achievements or your struggles, but by your essential nature, which is peace itself. Peace that has been disguised as tension, as worry, as the constant background hum of doing, but which is revealed now in its true form as the ground of all being. The ground that supports not just your physical body, but your dreams, your hopes, your very existence. The breath now moves so slowly that it seems to stop, but it does not stop. It simply merges with the silence from which it came, becoming indistinguishable from the space in which all experience occurs. This space is vast and intimate simultaneously, containing everything while being contained in nothing. It is the space in which you first learned to dream, the space in which you will continue to dream, even in waking. Dreams that are not fantasies, but glimpses of truth dressed in the clothing of symbol. Truth that cannot be spoken directly, but can be lived. Lived in the moments between breaths, in the pauses between heartbeats, in the space where rest becomes so complete that it transforms into something beyond rest, something that has no name, but can be recognized by its signature feeling of absolute belonging. Belonging not to any place or time, but to the eternal now, where all seeking ends. The substance of rest has now become so refined that it begins to dissolve the boundaries of individual identity, not through force, but through the natural process of integration. Integration that reveals the truth that you were never separate to begin with. Separation was an illusion created by the lens of waking consciousness, an illusion necessary for the game of being human, but not necessary for the reality of being. Being that exists in the space between breaths, in the pause between thoughts, in the vast silence that underlies all sound. Silence that is not empty, but full of the potential for all experience. Potential that expresses itself now as the gentle settling of awareness into its own depth. Depth that has no bottom, because it is not a container, but the very essence of containment itself. Essence that holds you not like a cup holds water, but like the sky holds clouds, allowing complete freedom within complete safety. Safety that does not require walls or guards or any form of protection. Because what needs protection is already protected by its very nature. Nature that is fundamentally peaceful, fundamentally whole in a way that includes brokenness without being diminished by it. Like a mosaic that becomes more beautiful as the pieces increase. The breath now moves through this wholeness, carrying with it the final gift. The gift of forgetting, not in the sense of losing memory, but in the sense of releasing the need to remember. Releasing the burden of carrying the past into the sanctuary of now. Sanctuary that exists not in any particular place, but in the recognition that you are already home. Home not as a destination, but as your original condition. Condition that was never lost, only forgotten in the brightness of waking. Now, as the substance of rest reaches its full expression, you remember. Remember not with the mind, but with the whole being, with every cell, every fiber, every atom that comprises the temporary form called you. Form that dissolves now into the infinite hospitality of sleep. Hospitality that welcomes you not as a guest, but as the host returning to claim what was always theirs. Theirs being not possession, but participation. Participation in the great dance of consciousness, moving between states, between the known and the unknowable, between form and formlessness, between the human and the divine. All distinctions now softened by the substance of rest, until they become permeable. Permeable like the membrane of a cell, allowing exchange without losing integrity. Integrity that comes not from rigidity, but from the ability to flow while maintaining essence. Essence that is revealed now in its purest form as the capacity to rest completely. Rest that is not escape, but embrace. Embrace of all that you are and all that you are not. All that you have been and all that you will become. Become not through effort, but through the natural unfolding of being. Unfolding that requires nothing from you except the courage to let go. Courage that is not bravery in the face of danger, but trust in the face of the unknown. Trust that you are being held by something vast and loving. Something that has held you since before you knew you needed holding, and will continue to hold you long after the need for holding seems to disappear. Disappear not because it is gone, but because it has become so complete that it is no longer noticeable. Like the air that surrounds you so constantly that you forget it is there. Except when you need it most. Then you remember that it was always there, always supporting, always nourishing, always present. Present in the final settling of awareness into the arms of sleep. Arms that are not arms, but the infinite tenderness of existence itself. Tenderness that catches you as you fall. Fall not downward, but inward. Inward toward the center, where all journeys end. Center that is everywhere and nowhere. Everywhere because it contains all things. Nowhere because it cannot be located by any map. Map that would be unnecessary anyway. Because you are already where you need to be. Are already what you have been seeking. Seeking not through movement, but through recognition. Recognition that happens now. Happens in the space between one breath and the next. In the pause that contains all time. All time compressed into a single moment of perfect rest. Rest that expands to fill all space. Space that contracts to fit inside a single breath. Breath that dissolves into the silence from which it came. Silence that speaks the only truth worth hearing. Truth that says simply, you are safe. You are held. You are home. Let the edges of your awareness begin to soften now. There is nothing left to hold on to. Nothing left to carry. The day has given all it can give. Now it's time for something deeper. Something quieter. Let it all just slip away. The sounds around you grow softer, each one melting into the next like waves on a distant shore. You don't have to listen to them anymore if you don't want to. They're just background now. Not important. Not urgent. Just part of the gentle rhythm beneath everything else. Your breathing slows down naturally. It doesn't need help. It already knows what to do. Let it deepen just a little more. Just enough so that each breath feels like a small gift. A quiet offering from your body to your mind and back again. Feel how your shoulders drop slightly, how the weight of tension simply melts out of them. It was never meant to stay there anyway. That tightness was just visiting. Now it's moving on, leaving space behind for stillness. Let your arms relax completely. Your hands too. They've done their work. Now they belong entirely to rest. Fingers loose. Palms open, ready to receive whatever comes next. Your chest rises and falls with such ease now. Each movement carries less effort than the last, as though gravity itself is learning to be kinder, as though the air wants to support you better. This is not about control anymore. This is about surrender. Imagine a soft blanket wrapping around your thoughts, not smothering them, just holding them gently, keeping them warm and safe while you rest. Any stray worries dissolve slowly, like sugar in warm water, sweet at first, then gone altogether. You are becoming lighter, not physically, but in the way that matters most. Free from the pull of expectations, free from the weight of unfinished plans, free even from the idea that you need to be anywhere else right now. Close your eyes if you haven't already, or let them flutter shut on their own. Either way works. There's no pressure here. No need to force anything. Just allow yourself to sink deeper. The world outside fades quietly into memory. Its colors blur together. Its voices become whispers. Then nothing at all. What remains is yours alone. Your inner calm. Your steady heartbeat. Your breath. Your peace. Notice how easy it is to let go when there's nothing left to resist. No struggle needed. No fight required. Just trust. Trust in your body's wisdom. Trust in this moment. Trust in the simple fact that you deserve this rest. Feel your hips settle into the surface beneath you. Your spine aligns effortlessly. Your head finds its perfect angle. Everything adjusts without effort, without strain, without thought, just natural alignment. Your legs grow heavy now, calm and grounded, as though rooted into something solid and safe. Knees soft, ankles relaxed, feet sinking gently into whatever supports them. The resonance begins to fill the space around you. Not loud, not demanding attention. Just present a low hum that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, vibrating softly through your bones, through your cells, through every fiber of who you are. This is your signal, your reminder that healing doesn't require action, that restoration happens when we stop trying so hard, when we finally allow ourselves to receive, to absorb, to simply be. You may notice subtle shifts happening within you, perhaps a warmth spreading across your chest, maybe a light tingling sensation in your fingertips, or maybe just a deepening sense of calm. These changes are real. They're happening because you allowed them to happen. Your mind grows quieter now, less cluttered, more spacious, like a room where someone opened all the windows. Fresh air flows in. Old stuff drifts out. And suddenly, there's room to breathe. Think of this state as home, not a physical place, but a feeling you recognize instantly. A familiarity that makes your heart smile without meaning to. A sense of belonging that requires no explanation, no justification, no permission. You are welcome here anytime, whether you arrive tired, overwhelmed, or simply curious. This space opens for you automatically, like a door that never locks from the inside, like a voice calling your name before you even knock. Let your jaw unclench now. Your tongue rests lightly against the bottom of your mouth. Your neck releases its remaining tension. Your scalp softens. Even your eyelids grow heavier, as though weighted down by feathers instead of stress. You might find yourself smiling faintly, not because anything funny happened, but because peace often looks like that. Quiet joy, contentment without reason, gratitude for being exactly where you are. The resonance continues its work silently. It doesn't ask questions, doesn't demand answers. It simply moves through you, clearing what needs clearing, strengthening what needs strengthening, renewing what needs renewal. Your breathing becomes almost imperceptible now, slow and smooth, like silk sliding over skin. Each inhale brings calm. Each exhale takes away what no longer serves you. This exchange requires no effort, only acceptance. Your heartbeat matches the rhythm of the resonance. Steady, strong, assured. It reminds you that life flows best when we stop forcing it, when we remember to pause, to listen, to trust. The layers of identity begin to fall away now. Roles you play, labels others gave you, expectations you adopted. None of those define you in this moment. Only presence does. Only essence. Only truth. You are not your schedule. You are not your responsibilities. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your future anxieties. You are simply you, whole and complete, here and now. Allow the resonance to carry you further inward, past the surface noise, past the everyday chatter, into the sanctuary of self, where healing lives, where peace resides, where love waits patiently for your return. Your body recognizes this journey. It's been here many times before, even if your conscious mind forgot. Muscle memory kicks in. Cellular wisdom guides the way. Instinct leads you deeper, where true rest begins. Notice how comfortable you feel now, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, as though every part of you agrees, as though every system aligns, as though harmony returns naturally. This is what integration feels like, when all aspects of self meet in stillness, when fragmentation gives way to wholeness, when scattered pieces find their center again, effortlessly, gently, with grace. You understand now why rest is sacred, why stillness is necessary, why silence heals more than words ever could. Because in these moments, we remember who we really are, beneath all the doing, beneath all the becoming. The resonance wraps around you like a cocoon, protective yet permeable, holding you safely while allowing growth. This is your personal sanctuary, your private chapel of calm, your refuge from the world's noise, always available. Time loses meaning here. Minutes stretch into eternities. Eternities compress into seconds. There is only now, only this breath, only this beat, only this peace. You are safe in this space, protected not by walls or luxe, but by intention, by choice, by the simple decision to remain present, to stay connected to yourself, to honor what you need most. The resonance continues its quiet work, rebalancing energies, realigning intentions, refreshing perspective, all without fanfare, all without pressure, just steady progress. You may feel a subtle shift in temperature, not uncomfortable, just different, cooler perhaps, or warmer, depending on what your body needs to release, to integrate, to restore balance. Your nervous system settles into its optimal rhythm. Parasympathetic dominance returns. Stress hormones decrease naturally. Cortisol levels drop. Oxytocin increases. Endorphins flow freely. Your biochemistry adjusts to match your inner peace. This process doesn't end when the session concludes. It continues invisibly, silently, working through cellular memory, through neural pathways, through energetic fields, long after you wake up. Your subconscious absorbs this experience fully, cataloging each sensation, recording each insight, storing each moment of clarity for future reference, for moments when you might forget, for times when you'll need to return. You begin to understand that healing isn't linear. It spirals upward, circling back through familiar territory, but always reaching new heights, building upon previous foundations, expanding capacity for resilience, for joy, for connection. The resonance becomes part of your internal landscape now, something you can access anytime, like muscle memory, like instinct, a frequency your cells remember, a vibration your spirit recognizes, a tone that brings instant recalibration. You don't have to recreate this experience later. You only have to recall it, to reconnect with it, to invite it back whenever you wish. It lives within you now, ready to serve you, ready to remind you of who you truly are, beyond circumstances, beyond conditioning, beyond temporary states of mind. You are constant. You are whole. You are loved. The resonance reaches its deepest level now, penetrating beyond mental barriers, beyond emotional shields, touching the core of your being, where transformation occurs, where truth reveals itself, where peace originates. You float now in pure potential, untouched by external chaos, unaffected by temporal concerns, simply existing in expanded awareness, connected to infinite possibilities, aligned with universal rhythms, anchored in authentic self. This is the gateway between worlds, between waking reality and dreamlike consciousness, between doing and being, between striving and arriving. You stand perfectly balanced here, neither pushing forward nor falling back, just floating. The resonance creates a bridge between your conscious and unconscious minds, allowing communication to occur naturally, facilitating integration of insights, healing old wounds without reopening them, updating limiting beliefs without confrontation, reprogramming negative patterns without resistance, through pure vibrational alignment. You realize now that true rest involves the entire self, body, mind, spirit, all working together in harmony, all contributing to recovery, all participating in renewal. The resonance facilitates this total integration, activating dormant resources within, unlocking hidden strengths, awakening intuitive wisdom, reconnecting fragmented parts, uniting scattered energies, forming a cohesive whole. You are gathering strength now, not through exertion, but through receptivity, absorbing nourishment directly from source, drawing power from stillness itself, building reserves that extend far beyond this session into every aspect of your daily life. The resonance amplifies your natural ability to heal, boosts immune function subtly, enhances cellular regeneration, improves hormonal balance, optimizes neurotransmitter activity, strengthens the mind-body connection, accelerates recovery processes. You understand intuitively that this practice changes you permanently. Each session builds upon the last, creating lasting shifts in perception, in behavior, in response patterns, in overall quality of existence. The effects compound over time. The resonance leaves imprints in your energy field, positive markers that influence future experiences, guiding decisions toward greater alignment, attracting supportive people and opportunities, repelling situations that would cause unnecessary stress, raising your vibrational baseline steadily, making peace easier to maintain. You begin to emerge from this state gradually, not abruptly, not suddenly, but smoothly, gently, with care, carrying the resonance with you as you rise. The peace doesn't leave you. It travels with you, embedded in your tissues, stored in your memory banks, available whenever called upon, ready to activate at will, waiting patiently for your return. You know now that this feeling is always accessible. Whenever you choose to return, whenever you decide to reconnect, it will be here, unchanged, unmoved, like a favorite chair in a familiar room. The resonance prepares you for re-entry into ordinary awareness, slowing, bringing your attention back to the physical realm, grounding you steadily, reconnecting you with your surroundings while preserving the inner calm, maintaining the centered state, keeping the peace alive. You take a final deep breath now, filling your lungs completely, then releasing slowly, carrying the resonance outward with the exhale, sharing its benefits with the space around you, extending its influence beyond your personal boundaries, touching everyone nearby with invisible grace. The session concludes naturally, not because it must end, but because it has fulfilled its purpose. The resonance continues indefinitely, working silently, supporting your ongoing well-being, nurturing your highest good. You carry this peace forward now, into whatever comes next, into whatever awaits you, knowing that you can return anytime, that this space remains open for you, that the resonance travels with you always, guiding you gently onward. Sleep now. Until we meet again in the quiet.